Hey, welcome back guys. As you can probably see here, what we're going to do today is have a little discussion about cook kits and the cook kits that I carry and that I rotate through whenever I'm out into the woods. So I usually carry the 4 of these implements right here. I'll carry some more than others, but I always try to rotate them depending on the purpose, depending on how long I stay. One in particular, like right here, I carry with me every time. But I thought what we'd do is go through them individually. I'll talk about some of the features of each of them, maybe some of the specs and what I like about them, and maybe what they're good for. So stick around. I'm looking forward to our little chat here in the forest today, and we'll be right back with you. Okay guys, the first cook kit that I want to discuss with you today is the Stanley Canteen. And the reason I want to talk about this one first is that this is the one that I carry with me all the time. This one is not in the rotation because I always have it on me. Whether I'm doing a day hike, a simple overnighter, a couple night stay, whatever it may be, this kit here carries everything that I need to boil water or to make a simple meal. So I always have this one, and it's about 1 liter of water. So I always like having an extra liter of water on me at all times. So this is just great. It's in a canteen pouch here. I got 2, I think this came in a set of 2. This canteen pouch came in a set of 2 off of eBay for, I want to say about $10, if that. So they're very cheap, and it's military issue, so it's pretty strong, pretty durable. Pockets on each side. On this side, I have the Ozark Trail Hobo tool. Now it's kind of heavy for an eating utensil, but it's my favorite one that I've owned. And I have a couple of them, and I carry them in whatever kit that I'm bringing out for that time. So this one actually stays in here at all times, and then I have another one that I rotate with my cook kits. I also keep some tin foil in there. And then on the other side, I keep just some simple snare wire. I don't use snare wire to trap animals or anything like that, guys. What I mainly use this for is an improvised bail to hang my pot over the fire. Kind of like I showed on one of my previous videos, I used it to hang the Stanley Canteen cook kit over the fire. That's mainly what I have that for. So, let's break into the canteen kit here. Uncinch the sides. Right up front, I got a couple things tucked in here, and right up front is the lid to the canteen cup that I'm going to show you here in a second. And in the back, I have the fish mouth spreaders from the Pathfinder store. I keep these in here at all times. Let's take this out. The Stanley Canteen itself is nested into, this didn't come with any canteen cup. So what I did is I purchased the Pathfinder store canteen cup and stove, and this nests in very nicely. It's not perfect, but it does nest in pretty well to this canteen cup. And the way this works is all we got to do is pop the handle of the cup. Whoops. And then the stove on the bottom comes off, so there's the stove. And there is the canteen cup. It has this fastening device on the back, and there we go. And ideally that goes right on there. However, I rarely use the stove for putting it over the fire or putting it into the coals. I'll either put this right on the fire, or I'll usually put that right on the fire. This I use more for a stove or a windscreen or a stand for the Trangia pot. The Trangia, or what Ulrica would say, Trangia stove, alcohol stove, fits perfectly under there. And I just set this right on there, and I cook with the Trangia stove when necessary. And as I mentioned, if I have a fire going, I'll just set that right in the fire. Put the lid right on the top. It's a very, very nice lid. I like it a lot. So that is the cup and stove part. Very compact, very nice little unit there. Now the Stanley Canteen itself, it comes with a shoulder strap. And it's a webbing shoulder strap. I just cut that right off, and what I use is one of my braided paracord ridge lines. This one's about, I want to say maybe 15 to 20 feet that I made, and I just knot one side and double it over. So I carry it over my shoulder like this. Now the specifics on the Stanley Canteen is it's listed as 1.1 quart. Okay, it's a good amount of water. It's right around 1 liter, and it holds up to about 4 cups of water. So it's a good amount of water to have with you. To let you guys know the durability of this, you might have seen in some of my past videos, I have boiled with this directly over the water. I have put this directly into the fire, and I have also made char cloth in this thing too. The only thing that I've had trouble with that I had to watch out for are the pesky O-rings that are in here. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Okay, one cool thing, guys, this whole top can come right off for that wide mouth opening. And in here, there's a couple of O-rings. There's an O-ring right there. That tends to fall out every once in a while, and I just have to keep a close eye on that. That's no problem at all. But there's the wide mouth opening, so you could take this whole cap off, or you could open just this top part for a more narrow opening, and you can drink it while you walk, for example. Cap is on this little arm here, just holds it right on. The top part of this cap here is best in the wintertime, I've found out. That way the metal isn't going to irritate your mouth or even stick to your lips in really cold conditions because you're drinking out of this plastic part. So that is the Stanley Canteen, guys. This is about, I want to say $20 at Walmart. And then all I had to do was find a canteen cup for it, and I did a lot of research, and that's where the Pathfinder store canteen cup, stove, and lid all come into play. And as you can see, they nest pretty nicely. I mean, it's not perfect. They're not made for one another, but it does nest in pretty well. Then this part just goes right back into my canteen pouch. Put the lid up front. Throw our fish mouth spreaders down the back. What else I like, guys, is anything I keep in here, because I carry this with me at all times. Whatever I keep in here, like those fish mouth spreaders, I always have with me and ready to go for my other cook kits should I need them. So that is my Stanley Canteen cook kit, guys, the one that comes with me all the time. Before getting into this next one, guys, and this is just the stuff sack here, I wanted to let you know that I'm a big fan of Morris Kohansky. I've been watching his VHS videos for a long time. I mean, back when things were on VHS, I saw some videos on him, reading his stuff, watching his stuff on YouTube. He's just a pleasure to listen to, a pleasure to watch him work and to listen to him teach. I always enjoyed his Morris pot that he showed, and how much he loves it. You know, I think the reason that I was so drawn to it is because he loved it so much. And I was never a fan of the aluminum aspect. I mean, you can still get the original Moore's pot, which is aluminum, and I'm not a big fan. I mean, it's argued whether aluminum is good or bad for you or indifferent to you, but I would rather side on caution and get something a little more long lasting. And that's when I discovered the Pathfinder Store's Bush Pot from Dave Canterbury's store, the stainless steel Bush Pot, and I fell in love with it. So now this one's going to be a little bit bigger than our other cook pots, but let me show you how it comes. It's the stainless steel Bush Pot and the stove. And as I mentioned, guys, I never really use these stoves for putting them over the fire. But what I do use them for, the main thing that I use them for, the one on the Bush Pot here and the one that comes in the Stanley Canteen kit, is the Trangia stove. It is the perfect stand over the Trangia stove. So when I'm hiking and need to stop quick or can't have a fire, these things fit perfectly over this stove right here. So I don't have to make and design different stands for that. This thing is perfect, and so is the Stanley Canteen stove thing. So I love these things, not because I use them over the fire or use them for their intended purpose. I use them as Trangia stove stands, and they are absolutely perfect. I love them for that. So if I'm carrying this, I always have it. If I'm carrying the Stanley Adventure Cup, I have my canteen with me, and I use that one to go over the Trangia. So let's talk about the Bush Pot for a second, guys. The Pathfinder store stainless steel Bush Pot. If you guys know the Morris Kohansky Bush Pot, you have a pretty good idea on what this one is all about. This one has a bail included, and it's a adjustable bail. So while I do like that, I keep my bail right here. I keep it straight up and down. And then maybe if I need to pour, I'll hold it that way. But I like it just like that. Lid. Nice tough lid there. Now it doesn't lock right on it as of this time. I'm actually kind of rough on this thing, guys. I've thrown this in the water before and collected water that way. It's not bad now, but all you need to do is just squeeze it in a little bit and it's going to hold the lid. So just some minor adjustments in that thing. Yeah, that's staying on now. Minor adjustments keep it on if it doesn't lock for you. Nice little handle here. You can see the spout on the end. So the shape of the top, you can see the pouring spout. Also, it has the two butterfly handles in the back, which are pretty cool. And mainly what I use this for is hanging over the fire. Now this is a little bit bigger than our other pots, guys. They say it's good for a group of people. I've used it just fine with me by myself. But this one is an 8-cup capacity. So this one's going to hold 8 cups or 1.9 liters or 64 ounces. So this is actually significantly bigger than the others, but I don't mind it. I mean, I've cooked for one in this. That's the only way that I've cooked in it. I've cooked for one. And I like having it around, and I like the fact that I can keep gear right in this. I mean, gear fits perfectly. And then you have the pot to go right on there. So I'll show you some of the gear I carry in the different pots, but I can carry it all right in this, no problem. Simple, probably the simplest design of all of them. Just a bush pot. My favorite thing that I've used it for is I've tied my paracord ridgeline around here and dropped it down into the water to collect water. This bail is outstandingly tough, guys. So if you're looking for something a little bit bigger, the reason I don't mind the bigger size is for the gear holder. I mean, keeping my gear in there, and then I can take the gear out and make 1 cup of coffee in this with no problem. I like the way it cooks. I like the way that it hangs over the fire. I like everything about it. This is probably the most expensive of the cook kits in my rotation. This one, I think now it's about $40. I paid about $50 for this when I got it. Maybe about a year ago, I'd say. 8 months to a year ago, it was about $50. So this one's a little bit bigger and the capacity is a little bit bigger, but I like it a lot. And I'd highly recommend it if you're cooking for groups, you know, if you have a few of you. This is good for making stew or making whatever you like. And it's simple nesting there. You can see the stove nests. And then I just throw it right back into the stuff sack here. And that one's ready to go.